used to be a teammate of AB, and he said it's like dealing with a child as a teammate of AB. I mean, that's how a teenager would act. You didn't say stuff nice about me. I'm not following you on Twitter and Instagram.
All right. Back with another one. Hope everybody's doing well. Now, I've been looking at some of these sports commentators talk about Antonio Brown. We're going to focus in on one in particular, which is Colin Cowherd. Now, what he brought out concerning Antonio Brown is that he was childish, that he could hurt Tampa Bay's chances of being a Super Bowl team, and he talked about Antonio Brown's antics. Now, as we go over this information, I'm going to see if we can refute this a little bit. But what we're going to do is some compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. Now, when it comes to Antonio Brown, these are his career receptions: 844 receptions, 11,294 career receiving yards, and his career touchdowns, 80. So that puts him in some really good company. That puts him in elite company. Now, the reason why I go over these career stats, this represents success. Now, oftentimes in life, when somebody does something foolish, dumb, ill-advised, or if they just simply do the wrong thing or fail to do what's right, success causes us to overlook the person's past doings. It causes us to overlook their mistakes. But it's interesting. Now think about this. When it comes to Antonio Brown, it's the same exact knock on him. Oh, he's going to be childish. Oh, he's going to be his antics. He's going to mess up the locker room. So think about this now. I said we're going to do some compare and contrast. So these are some of the things that Antonio Brown has done. Now, in 2018, he had the incident where he threw the furniture out of that. I believe it was a hotel window. He threw the furniture and he faced a lawsuit because of this. 2018, he had the reckless driving where he was cited at driving over 100 miles an hour, and he got a ticket, of course. Then he had the domestic dispute with the mother of one of his children. Now, he faced allegations in that instance. Then he was sued by his personal chef in 2019. And in 2019, he was also sued by his personal trainer. So has Antonio Brown done some things that are ill-advised? Yes. Has he done some things that are silly? Yes. Has he done some things that are foolish? Yes. Now, here's the compare and contrast. Now, like Colin mentioned, he went to a team. He went to the Patriots, a very fine and well-run organization. And I'm not picking on the Patriots per se, but for the sake of compare and contrast, let's talk about the Patriots. Now, we considered some of the things that Antonio Brown had done. Now, we're going to consider some things that this well-run, wonderful organization has been involved in. So in 2005, there was Eaglesgate. What that was is ESPN reported that the Eagles were convinced that the Patriots either stole their playbook or secretly videotaped their practices prior to winning the Super Bowl in Jacksonville. So you remember that? Eaglesgate, 2005. 2007, Spygate. Remember that? It was talked about, Spygate. That's where Belichick was fined $500,000. See, $500,000, the largest amount ever for an NFL coach. And the Patriots were fined $250,000. And then remember, they were stripped of the first round pick after being caught breaking the NFL rules. Then there was Deflategate. See, that's when the Colts accused the Patriots of deflating the footballs during that AFC championship game. Then there was Headset Gate. That's 2015. The Steelers accused the Patriots of orchestrating the headset malfunction that led to Steelers coaches hearing a radio station in their headset instead of being able to communicate with each other and their players. Right? Also in 2015, it was it was called the Peyton Gate. As reported in 2015 by NBC Sports' Peter King, that's a well-respected writer, Peter King is, then with Sports Illustrated, Peyton Manning was so suspicious of the Patriots bugging the visiting locker room when the Colts visited Gillette Stadium that he refused to talk strategy with any coaches or teammates while he was inside the locker room. And then if we remember just as recent as last year, Bengals Gate. That's where Belichick was accused of cheating so many times his scandals don't even get nicknames anymore. But this one was Bengals Gate, where again they're recording and filming practices. So we talked about some of the things that Antonio Brown has done. Then we talked about some of the things that the Patriots organization has done. But see, the Patriots have had a lot of success over the years. So then their things are swept under the rug. They've won Super Bowls. But do they generally put an asterisk next to their Super Bowls? A lot of this was orchestrated by Belichick. See, so is Belichick a cancer in the locker room? Now, don't get me wrong. Personally, I feel like Belichick is an excellent coach. I feel like Belichick has an excellent defensive mind. But what we're talking about is fairness. We're talking about compare and contrast. See, compare and contrast. Antonio Brown, oh, he's childish. Look at his antics. He threw furniture, reckless driving. What about the Patriots? Eagles Gate, Spy Gate, Deflate Gate, Headset Gate, Peyton Gate, Bengals Gate. Yet this is a stellar organization. This is a well-run organization. Now, they talk about, well, Antonio Brown is going to wreck the Tampa Bay Buccaneers locker room. See, what is this doing to the locker room? What did Spygate do to the locker room? What did Deflategate do to the locker room? But when we mention Patriots, all they talk about is their success. Now, these are some of the things that they've been involved in as a team under the instruction or the persona of the head coach. What about ownership? See, what about ownership, Robert Kraft himself? Now, we know that Antonio Brown has, again, like we already covered, has done some ill-advised things. Now, what about Kraft? See, it brings out Kraft was charged with 2 counts of first-degree misdemeanor solicitation in violation of Florida Statute 796.07. This is the owner of the team. See, this is the owner of the well-run, well-oiled machine, the New England Patriots. So whenever Kraft is interviewed, they don't bring this up. See, is Kraft, if Antonio Brown's a problem in the locker room, is Kraft a problem in the boardroom? See, is he a problem in the front office? Why is it okay? Because the Patriots have had success that what they've done wrong is just swept under the rug. But anytime Antonio Brown's name comes up, it's furniture throwing, it's antics, it's arguing, it's the helmet issue, it's getting his toes frozen, and things like this. So what about his success? Can his success cover over his past deeds? 844 receptions, 11,294 yards, 80 touchdowns. See, if we're going to acquit one, then we're going to have to acquit the other. If we're going to acquit one, then we're going to have to acquit the other. Now, they talked about Antonio Brown's maturity level. Colin Cowherd did, and I believe it was Ryan Shazier that had joined him. Now, when a lot of this took place for Antonio Brown, he was in his 20s. So he's definitely a young man. See, but how old was Mr. Kraft when he was charged with solicitation? See, he's committing crimes and he's in his 70s. Antonio Brown is being foolish and he was in his 20s. See, what age range was Bill Belichick in? He was in his late 60s when he was cheating. Spygate, Deflategate, Eaglesgate, Headsetgate. See, so what about them? So are we going to hold a man who was in his 20s to a higher level of mature growth than individuals in their late 60s and 70s? See, is that fair? And you're more than welcome to comment and like this video if you will, but is that fair? See, this man was in his 20s doing foolish things. So was it foolish when Mr. Kraft was charged with a misdemeanor for solicitation? Why is that overlooked? See, it's overlooked because of his success, because he's a billionaire, because he has a successful football team. And yes, they have been successful. And yes, Belichick is a good coach. But if we're going to acquit the other two, then let's acquit all three of them. See, let's acquit all three of them. Because we can compare it to this. I mean, could you imagine if you got a hot summer day, you got a nice cold glass of lemonade, and something fell in it, right? Something fell in that lemonade. Are you going to dump the whole thing out, or are you going to drink around it? See, I see something floating in it, and I'll just drink around it, even though I know it's there. See, that's what we do with Mr. Kraft and the Patriots as an organization. We just drink around it like it's not even there. But when it comes to Antonio Brown, oh no, just pour this whole thing out. See, either we drink around all parties involved, or we just pour the whole thing out. See, that is the moral of this story. Either we're going to pour the whole thing out, or we're just going to drink around all parties like nothing was ever in the drink. So again, Antonio Brown, just like Belichick can right his wrongs, just like Mr. Kraft can right his wrongs, then Antonio Brown should also be allowed to right his wrongs. All right, you guys take care. Signing off.